And welcome everybody to today's episode of Wisdom Cafe Live. And my name is Bob Choat. I'm the Transformational Grandmaster, and my co-host is the beautiful Sofie Nubani, the Queen of Laughter and Wisdom. Sofie, it's been really cool and rainy out here on the West Coast. How's it there in Orlando?
It is sunshine, beach weather, and you
Mm.
name
Oh,
it.
that's awesome. Beach
Yes.
weather. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's been, I tell you, it's just been so crazy uh over the last couple weeks or so with everything that's been happening around, and we wanted to do this broadcast just to really help to calm people down. And Sophie, this is a brilliant idea that you came up with, and I think that right now, today, at this time, to be able to help people to move forward in their life and really help to reduce the anxiety and stress and panic and so forth. So,
Amen to that.
we'll, so
Absolutely.
yeah, and people are. It seems like people are in a crisis with the coronavirus, which is known as COVID-19 or the novel coronavirus. So it seems to
Uh-huh.
be a lot of adapting in the name changes and everything. And
Uh-huh.
and the coronavirus is not anything new. It's been around. This is just an adaptation of it. We know that cold viruses is in the same family as a coronavirus, and so are some flu viruses, SARS, and some of the
Yeah.
others as well. Yeah, and and interesting these days that with all the shutdowns and everything. How's it been there in Orlando?
Um, we're kind of transitioning, a little bit. You can notice that it's a little bit quieter in some areas. Um, the supermarkets, a lot of aisles, certain foods are out totally.
Yeah.
Been trying to find organic lentils, and I only found like the green ones, but I couldn't find the other types that I also like.
Yeah.
However, they had plenty of other stuff like black beans, and there's so many things that is still available. But
Mhm.
toilet paper seems to be the most popular.
I know.
That is,
And
I don't know what is up with that one, and how has that been such a demand for the virus? Like, you would think even tissues, right? No, toilet paper. Like, are they thinking from their behinds? They're stressing
who
out.
knows? Who knows? Or maybe they're going to wrap themselves with toilet paper just to protect themselves. I don't know. I mean,
and,
or
and Dr. David Friedman actually had a post that I shared, and he put the kitchen, roll and napkins, and he just like cut it in half and just call it a day. They're more available, and of course, there's a lot of resources. Talking about that actually, while we're at it, and not to discount how people are feeling, we are facing something that is not normal to our own regular routine and life as a nation, as a world right now. And when these things happen, it's very natural that people are going to have the fight or flight kind of respond because of the uncertainty and of the unknown, and thinking of the worst that could happen, and maybe actually living that story of the worst that could happen more in their minds in those moments, because the news is not giving us a break. At the same time, I can't discount the importance of news because we need to be aware of what is happening, and we just need to learn how to filter things better.
Hmm.
So when we are looking at the news, because it is very wise to know what's going on a broader spectrum worldwide, just to see, because we're all human species and we're going to act and respond very similar regardless of race and cultures in the area when it's really under fear
Hmm.
as human race. The only difference that's going to pick one country from another is the leaders in that country and the operation that is handling it. We see what happened in China, and it's a lot more contained as we speak. I talked to Edward, who I had interviewed for my pre-launch for my book recently from Tokyo, and everything is back to normal already. They have handled it very well on times when they were told to shut down and have social distancing and so forth. We are not used to that. We're very much into, we want things now and it's right away. Everything is so easy, so convenient that we totally don't realize the blessings that we really have. That when a crisis like this arrives, that is affecting everybody, and then now everybody's on a wake up call, and everybody is in like, oh, I can't ignore this. And everywhere they go, everywhere they're visiting, there's signs to remind them of the importance of paying attention, and therefore they start freaking out. Some people are freaking out because of finances, meaning businesses and so forth. Some are freaking out because they already have asthma issues and health problems. They're concerned about the sensitivity of such attack to their systems, and how is it going to affect them? Are they going to get the proper care? And the way the news is spreading, that it's going to double, and it's spread fast if people don't really follow instructions.
Hmm.
So we can't be
Yep.
ignorant to facts, we can't be ignorant to science, we can't be ignorant to evidence. And because of that, we have to always, weigh it out. We can't just ignore it, but you have to also balance things out and be very grounded in your way of approaching things, so that you don't jeopardize your immune system prior to any arrival, including a regular cold or flu as we speak. Because the decrease of your immune system really happens when you are under so much worry and your cortisol
Hmm.
levels are so much higher. You are totally not allowing yourself to be able to face resistance properly if anything should happen. And I mean anything, including a toothache. All right. So, this is not to discount anybody's feeling and anybody's concerns or worries, because it is something that's affecting the world. It's going to have such an effect after, because of all the things that are happening during this time. And what I would suggest personally is that you have to identify two things. First, where is this real fear coming from? Is it truly just about the virus itself and your health? Is it because maybe about your finances and your business? Like on a subconscious level, you're panicking so much because now your business, and you own a restaurant, and then now it's ordered to shut down, like a lot of places. I mean, all Lebanon is under shutdown as we speak. I found out that the airport in Jordan is shut down. Many countries are, even Spain is locking down, because when Italy took it a little bit, not as serious, they had the highest death rates for the amount of people that faced it, because the prevention and the easiness of, oh, just let's forget about it.
Yep.
Let's,
Yep.
let's give each other hugs and all that. And that's all good to be positive that way. I'm all for that. But there is a fine line between being very positive and very optimistic, and also being very realistic and prepared in a
Yes,
positive way.
yes. In fact, I'm glad that you brought that up,
Hmm.
because what a lot of people don't realize, and I know that people have talked about that over a season, more people die from the flu virus than they have from COVID-19. But if we look at the mortality rate based on the amount of people that have it and the people that are dying, it is many, many times higher. Now, let's go back to a period of time in in the world, and this was what 102 years ago. So the Spanish flu of
Hmm.
1918, there was a lot of people that also did similar actions as we have today. So there was areas where they didn't even worry about the flu. It wasn't going to affect them. An example was Philadelphia. So this back in 1918. So they wanted to celebrate or have a kind of celebration for our military personnel that was already fighting over in Europe.
Hmm.
So our military personnel, they came back. So the ones that came back versus the ones that are still fighting. So the ones that came back, and over 200,000 people gathered in Philadelphia. Now, the mayor of Philadelphia was warned, the same thing, same kind of warning we're having today. The mayor was warned that they shouldn't have this because the flu could spread, but he didn't believe that it was going to happen. He says, I'm not sick, all this kind of stuff. Again, the same kind of mindset. Well, when that happened, and they had all that. Well, after a while, because of the exponential factor, it spread. Then it started spreading all over like wildfire, and because the hospital system couldn't handle it, people died, and in scores. Now they had a high mortality rate of 10% of all the people that got it, and if you look at the total amount of people across the globe, that was like the worst pandemic in history throughout the world because people didn't believe it, that it would affect them. And it started early on, and it started. Uh, there was new research that came out regarding. It started in China, where these Chinese workers came over to Canada and they were feeling sick, and the Canadian doctors kind of poo-pooed it. So they went over to France in a war effort to work and everything, and then it started spreading. But again, it was just a few cases that started, but then
Hmm.
exponential factor increase. So I, for one, it's very important, the social distancing,
Hmm.
even though we don't have a vaccine or anything. It's really important to keep it down. Social distancing will help to keep it down. And
Because you
again,
mentioned also earlier, and you shared with me the article on CNN about people who have the symptoms who actually, who don't show them, actually spread them more
yes,
than.
because yes, so new research that came out of Germany just recently came out, showed that people who are what's called asymptomatic, that means this is pre-symptomatic, where they don't show symptoms, they actually have a higher, much higher um, viral load, or the amount of viruses that they can spread versus people that are showing symptoms. So this is very, very important, that there's people walking around not showing symptoms but are spreading it. And the the population that's very vulnerable has been already said. Uh, Senior citizens, especially people 80 and older, and then that are very, very vulnerable. Then the lower level senior citizens that are 65 and older, or even, I think they even said 60 and older, and to
People with
basically
asthma,
shelter. Yeah,
people with
people with
asthma.
asthma, COPD, smokers. That they tell people to like stop smoking because your lungs are already inflamed. And since COVID-19 attacks the respiratory system and inflames it, and what's been what's been killing people is what it does during the inflammation process, thing called acute respiratory distress syndrome. And
Mm,
it inflames the lungs like crazy. And in past epidemics, that's what people died from. So whereas like regular pneumonia will attack like one lobe, one lung area usually, this attacks the
mm.
whole lungs. So it inflames it all and stops the oxygen from being able to be reached. And there's a whole technical aspect. Now I don't want to talk about it here, but it's very important to reduce inflammation in any kind of way that you can do it. The
Mm,
stress, like you said, Sophie, increases inflammation, and
mm-hmm.
inflammation is created in other areas as well, and including uh, a lack of what?
Sleep.
Of sleep, exactly. So we know that people that
Actually, Chris Ryan shared a video on his storyline. I was listening to it earlier today, and there was a group of people that they did studies on that on different periods of time where they would sleep only 4 hours, and the other group was sleeping up to 8 hours and give or change 30 minutes less or more, and the same group, then the 4 hours ones they were given the eight and the other ones given a little bit more. They were going back and giving them virus to see how they will actually resist. And even when you recover with your 4 hours sleep later, you are still much vulnerable with a higher percentage of actually catching it. And they're talking about the importance of sleep a lot in this area. So I personally as I was working on my book this whole period, my sleep cycle so switched upside down left and right, but I do make it a point to always sleep at 7.5 hours as a very focused intention. So even if I sleep later, I would still make it up during the time just to make sure that I get that enough time. However, it's not the best thing to do. The best thing to do is actually to sleep anywhere between 12 and just before midnight. And that's the healthier cycle and production of your serotonin and really getting all your healthy human growth hormone and your adult stem cells that are actually also moving around to help in many other areas of healing in our bodies during the right sleep time. uh, Best of the worst, you choose your 7.5 hours, but you really want to choose them in the best times, which is by laws of nature and how everything is created. You want to look at it as when the sun comes down, there's a reason. And by nature, if you just followed that and if there was no electricity at all, you would have probably fell asleep by 10 anyways, no matter what you did, because you don't have enough light to be up. If there's not a full moon and if there's not enough candles or whatever for you to see, you're naturally going to sleep that much faster and earlier, and you'll wake up literally at sunrise. And that's just our rhythmic real health cycles to sleep at. But in this situation, facing a virus that is global like that, and that even if you're so organic oriented person, you work out every day, yes, you might resist better, right? But you still can catch it like that with doing everything right. And
yes,
because of that contamination just by going to places is when they're trying to talk about social distancing. It's not because it's fun and we like it and we want to agree to it. It's just that you want to be very wise on how you prioritize your socializing. And let me tell you something. I know of people myself that are very educated in many different areas. And when you talk to them, they're very deep in certain topics. But when it comes to like health and wellness and to really apply personal hygiene with real, um, much accuracy, they not so much into that area like they are in others. And so it's not a matter of this person knows more or less. It's really if you're sold on the idea, if you understand really what happens, you understand how it's developed, you understand how this could really affect, and your role and your accountability as a human to humanity and to those around you. At least if we're gonna go, let's go with honor and legacy, and let's really feel in our heart as we're closing our eyes to our last breath that we did the best we can for our fellow man, and we did our part, we did our roles. So we need to be courteous, and we need to be that for others. Meaning, if you feel that you can help somebody with an idea, please share and donate. If you have a suggestion that's going to help with this situation, same thing. If you're a businessman and you're extremely comfortable and you can maybe help other businesses and give them ideas and support them, this is the time us showing up for each other united.
Yes.
United
Let's
slowly.
come together. Let's come
Yes, let's
together.
really come together,
Yep.
people, and it is really how we always overcome many things. Remember when 911 happened? Many people were just really coming together more than ever, and it was like a wake up call for us to realize our appreciation to each other and to New York and to support and to in many ways, right? And this is something that we have to also learn from. So I was just thinking, okay, and this is, you have to understand, like, when you are in isolation, it's not a punishment, really, because it's just a way for you to maybe take some time and reflect, to use this time wisely in many different ways. And if you're sick and you need help, then you need to seek that medical attention immediately. And we pray that you are in the right hands and you're in the right mindset to help you go through this, because there's a lot more people surviving than people dying going through the virus. And I today, literally, I was talking to someone who told me that he knew of a friend of his in a different state that actually got it, and it lasted for exactly less than 2 weeks that he was kind of okay, but he still is social distancing because it's still up and going. But like, it depends on people's immune system.
Yep.
They're gonna fight it differently, and attitude towards it, you're gonna fight it differently. And the thing is, right now, if you go to supermarkets and stuff like that, I personally shared this with a few of my friends, and I feel that having disposable gloves is not a bad idea at all. And it's not that you're paranoid and you're going out of your way and like, oh my God, stop the craziness. It's not. Get disposable gloves, use them as you're doing your food shopping. Just recently in Orlando, two major supermarkets employees were tested positive. Okay, so these people are putting the stuff into things, right? So you want to wear your disposable gloves. Yes, you're gonna go onto the cashier, use your stylus to punch in the numbers. If you have a pin number, you want to sign your thing, you don't have to touch that. You don't have to touch the thing that they give you. Use your stylus. Make sure you sanitize it after, like even on the bottom with the wipes. As soon as you do that, before you get in your car, when you take your gloves, you make sure you actually do all that. Your steering wheel, and you have a bag that you close after when you put those gloves, because you don't want anything coming back home with you. And also, if you are sneezing, please, I mean, we know this from a while back, sneeze with your elbow, cover, right? Sneeze that way. Now if you need to use a tissue, use a tissue, but make sure when you put it in a garbage, make sure it's closed, it has a closed top, so things are not floating in the air. So let's be courteous in those little baby things, right?
Yep.
You're pushing doors, Dr. Marilyn Scott, Marilyn Scott, the amazing doc on Twitter, had a little beautiful video showing all those little basic things. But when people see images, they kind of remember more. So that was very nice of her to do that. But the things that we do know, but sometimes don't apply. If you're pushing a door, you don't have to push it with your hands, right? If you're not wearing gloves, please wash your hands as much as you can. At least for, I mean, they say 40 seconds. When I mean, I would go as long as you can, a little bit, not 2 minutes or anything like that. But I would go at least, maybe just a little bit less than a minute,
Hmm.
and with warm water.
Yeah,
But
do
before you
elbow
wash
bumps.
your hands,
Yeah.
if you're in a public place, I would get some, soap, and the thing that you're opening the faucet at with your hands, that should be clean too, because you're gonna go back. You have to close it. Remember. So try to be courteous. I know it's a little bit extra work,
Yeah.
but it's worth it. It's actually very worth it, and it's worth it all the time. It's not being paranoid. I think it's being wise, because you don't know how everybody's own traditions and eating habits and using their hands habits, where they put them, how they were taught, that's their education. They're not doing it to harm. I mean, listen, most of all the viruses came from China altogether, every single one of them. And that comes from the animals, because of the type of food they eat. And now we can't go and tell a culture, well, you guys better stop eating those weird animals, because now the whole world is getting infected. Because you got to respect that that's part of what they're doing. But if something is causing repetition from a same source, then maybe it is time for people to reflect on the types of food that could be causing these animals, that could be causing this human virus to the world. And we need to start being a little bit more courteous and conscious, for the betterment of all, and think of it in a holistic way. We can't just continue not thinking that way. We need to rise with our level of thinking, and our consciousness needs to be expanded more globally, not locally. We need to stop the judging and stop it. And this is, by the way, when I mentioned China, it was nothing with any of disrespect to any of habits or culture, because I love a lot of things about China myself. I love, a lot of the martial arts techniques they use. There's a lot of great things that come out of China as well. But we can't follow the bad leads, and there need to be corrected, and we need to be more conscious, and the way we handle business, and we need to stop looking for the money, and just because it's a little bit $10 cheaper, and then now we're gonna go cheat humanity and give them the worst quality because everybody's looking for a deal, but in the end we're hurting more people. Now that's not the way we want to operate as a whole globe. And there's many countries that are very awakened in those areas, and they really apply such an amazing holistic approach to their people, and they have such a classy, elegant environment that you would, clean cut. And we need to learn from that. We need to get the balance of the best of what we have and the best of what others have, and then grow from there with our creativity,
Yeah.
and not just draw on what's not working.
Yes. Exactly right. It's all about us coming together. How can we work together to get past this? Because it will be gone. We will get past this, and how we get past this, how we deal with this, will define us. It'll define all of us together. So
Amen.
if we want to be defined in a future with our descendants one way, then it could be positive, it could be negative. But right now we're at a point in time. It doesn't matter the political party that a person comes from. It doesn't matter
Oh,
what race they come from, what culture. It doesn't matter who or whatever. This is a defining moment, and that we can all come together. We can all make a difference, and uh, those that can help our seniors where people can't get out, maybe they need food or whatever because they have to uh, stay in place. And by the way, even though I'm a senior, I'm not counting myself as part of that, because I'm going to go out and see what I can do to help others myself.
mhm.
Even though, I mean, we have a thing in LA says that, and I'm part of the age group, that they're telling me it's an order that I have to stay in place. But of going to lie about my age, Sam. Like 50 years old, 47. Okay, no, yeah, okay, you guys didn't hear that. What I'm saying is that I believe in everybody that's watching this. I believe in all of us that we can come together. We can make a difference and we will make a difference. And there's things that we can do for ourselves because we got to take care of ourselves first. That's very, very important. And
Mhm.
and we're going to share a couple of things where
But
it's
I
going to
would like
help.
to
Oh, go ahead,
on
Sophie.
on this subject before we go into any more on the other stuff. When you get your stuff from groceries, please, truly, when you get back into your house, wear another disposable gloves and wash your stuff very good with soap and water. Your whatever, whether you're getting water bottles, whether you're getting coconut milk or avocados or anything that you're doing, wash them very well before you put them in the fridge, including whatever could be washed. Now you're not going to wash a cereal box, but maybe you can do like the wipes over it, Clorox wipes, and clean it that way. If you can, make sure that you do that. For right now, it's a little bit, you have to do, I mean, I do it all the time. I'm just used to it. But right now, I'm more conscious of even the time as I'm washing the things. Like, I'll take it a little bit longer. I'll have the soap on a little bit longer than I normally would otherwise, especially if you're going to get, any kale or spinach. And now, people are, those things, unless they're cooked, maybe they're best to have them cooked actually, where there's fire on them, killing any bacteria, on top of the fact that
Yeah.
you wash them. um,
Yep.
Things
Exactly.
with harder skins and stuff. I mean, you pay attention on those things. On toilet issues, because I have a lot of friends that are sending me all these funny text messages, no toilet paper and this and that. And suggestion, now in the States, they don't have this. Growing up in the Middle East, a lot of the toilets have bidets and even dryers. Then people wouldn't have an issue or need even a toilet roll for that, right? It's very clean, very hygienic. And we need to really get over ourselves, and we need to talk seriously for the best of all. For right now, if you are having that issue, even if you get water bottles, whatever, and you put soap and water, warm temperature, and then you wash yourself, and then you get those like towels from the dollar store, you can pick some and use those to dry after you clean so well, right? You can always use that, and you can go to your washer and dryer and wash stuff, every few days, and this could be a good solution. In fact, it's a very, very clean solution, even without a crisis. However, for now, toilet paper, if you're out of it, people are actually out of it. Yes, you can use other tissue paper. You can't use your kitchen rolls in your flush, because it could clog your flush, right? So make sure that if you have to use other stuff, that you're not flushing it because it's a habit, that you just think it's toilet paper, and then now you have a clogged toilet and everybody is on a shutdown and you can't get a plumber and you don't know what to do. Now you have another issue to deal with at home, especially if you are single or you don't have the right help or tools. So just be mindful of those things, of that. In fact, flushing toilet paper in the flush was not a good idea. I remember, was it 2 years ago? Manny Garcia actually had a little video on that and a post that I really liked. And he lived in Thailand for a while, but it's a good idea. And it actually is healthier for your pipelines not to flush your toilet paper in your flush, just in case, anyways, right? So, with that, now you have one solution, which is actually using soap and water and cleaning yourself up, drying yourself, get a towel, those little baby towels from the dollar store, pick as many as you want, keep them handy. It's not it's a solution for if that is one of the things that you've been trying to find. I know households that have 7 kids, 5 kids. My friend has 9 kids. My other American Supermom has 13 children. So there are people who's gonna need to think like out of the box of solutions like this. So let's think that way as well on that. If you're going, and I don't know what's to be expected. Everybody's living moment to moment to see on the generally what's going on, and realistic status and what's happening and the medical attention and so forth. But I mean, girls, if you're going to go and get your, I mean, I know a lot of people places you can't get your makeup done already and all that. If you're getting your nails done, make sure that you get, I mean, I don't know, I myself, I love my essential oils, and my thieves kills Amtrak bacteria, tea tree oil, and those are things that I continue to keep my hands clean with. Just generally, I made a spray out of them as well. But on the other hand, if you're little stressed out, there's also lavender. There's other things that you can kind of calm yourself. You need to have self regulation, and you need to stand up for yourself. It's not the time for you to panic. Whether you're a mother or a father, a brother, a sister, let's be there for each other. We're not trying to deny yourself of allowing your emotions to be what they need to be. It's very healthy so you don't suppress them. But how about shift your state, snap out of it? Let's face it. What are you scared of right now? What are you truly, truly scared of? This is the timeline that we live on. Okay, so whether it's your time to go now in a flu, or in another 4 years in an accident, 10 years in a heart attack, or 50 years while you're sleeping, okay, there's going to be a time that comes to an end. All right, but let's live for today and hope for a good future. Prepare well while we are breathing right now, and think logically. If it is finances you're nervous about, and it's livelihood of many people, and we can't discount if somebody's worried about putting food on their table, because that is a concern, yes. And you might have a family of many little babies and they're so scared, and maybe their credit is bad, they can't get a loan, maybe they don't have friends that can borrow money. I understand that, and I feel for that right now. Okay, there's gonna always be a way. Nothing stays permanent. This is a situation and a time that we're facing. It is something that requires strength, so we have better resilience to facing whatever we need to face, whether it's in our body itself, or whether it is us to serve others and be there for those that we can help, so we can lift them up, right? So let's be very, very, very conscious of how we can really be our best selves and also do our part. So let's respect when they're giving us some things to do, wait out, and respect what is coming out, because it's going to be prevention better than cure, because there's no need for acting really immature on this and just say, oh, this won't get to me. And well, you might be one that's carrying it and you don't even know. So let's just be patient right now, and see the best we can do in the moment, and do our part in preparation. I mean, I've heard some people say there's going to be a shutdown, could be 2 weeks, could be 3 months. I don't know where the 3 months came from. Somewhere somebody was talking. So, yes, no matter how much food supplies you're fighting over the aisles, you might still run out of food. You might have to mentally prepare yourself for, okay, what if I got to that state where I have to be a vegetarian for the next month because there's not enough meat in my freezer? Everything is done and gone. Okay, I mean, prepare yourself mentally to have that. I mean, people lived in war in many countries. They were living on hardly anything to eat, period, just to survive. So let's get the stuff that's going to last longer. Whether it's oatmeal, whether it's frozen foods, whether, like my sister suggested, and Bob, you said you're ordering some, get some seeds and organic seeds, like you mentioned, especially. Get some seeds, and if you can plant those seeds right now into your garden, do so.
Yes.
Think things like that.
Yep.
Get something that can grow for you, and do that. If you're a homeowner, or you have the ability, even if you live at a place that allows you to, I have like my water filter in my kitchen, in my refrigerator. If you can get water filters for now, not to have bottles in case of emergencies, in case water does get contaminated or whatever. But I'm just saying, if you can get water filters in your kitchen, do so. Then you don't have to worry about drinking your water. Okay, at least you will minimize one worry, and you can still kind of survive in better or longer, healthier, whatsoever. So use every tool that you can. Learn, maybe today you got one idea, and if that idea really served you well, that's great. Now you might have ideas to give others. Do so, because you'll be surprised how sometimes people, like today I also heard, and this is on my post share, I was tagged by Chris Ryan on this, that this is, I'm not a doctor and I'm not trying to give you medical advice. Please seek professional help in your area based on your conditions. But on my Facebook post, if you go on my last post, I was tagged in a very good post by a doctor who talked about anti-inflammatory things that reduces fever, and he was recommending things like ibuprofen and all those that were not good if you had this type of virus specifically, that you need to look at the back and look if they are don't have any steroids in them, because that will be doing the opposite effect that you wanted to do. So don't listen to me, don't listen to anyone, but listen to what's out there, okay? And then use your own judgment and gut feeling and logic and weigh it out. If you have a medical condition, weigh it out, call your doctor and say, hey, doc, I've been hearing this, that. Based on my condition, what do you recommend? But be aware. Don't just be blindfolded and just listen to one thing and never know what are the options out there, and what could be actually good and helpful. Salt and water to goggle with is very important, very good. There was this one teacher that shared in China, that he was with his group of students, that he told them to goggle with salt and water before they enter any place they go to, or if they're going to a place or coming back home. That was a way, like before you leave and when you come, you goggle salt and water. Goggle, okay? And those were the least affected in the whole community. So following stuff like that. So see what could be, like, educate yourself. Don't get paranoid and don't get overwhelmed, because this can really drive you nuts,
Mhm.
seriously. But learn of the solutions. Prepare your immune system. If you can eat garlic, eat garlic. If you can, certain things that are going to be good for you, adding lemon, please, those things are amazing. I want to tell you, 2 days ago, I personally wasn't feeling well at all. And I had this horrible headache, and I had one of my noses totally blocked, could not breathe from it, after coming from my food shopping. And with all these things you hear, I immediately went, got my veggie capsules. I did my oregano, my thieves, my thyme, that I was advised a while back by Michelle Hamill, which we call the detective, health detective in that area of the essential oils area. And I literally took them, and then I did lemon and lime, and I was drinking, drinking, drinking. I kid you not, from the time I laid on my couch, it was about 8 o'clock, until about 2 a.m., I was just taking out mucus, white mucus, white mucus, white mucus. It cleaned my lungs completely. The next day, the next day, I was totally clear. I didn't have even, I go like this, I'm breathing. Everything is clear. And I also want to recommend breathing techniques. I've been very conscious about it since I had that in a chapter in my book, the upcoming book. And I talked about different breathing techniques originally introduced by Dr. Bob Choat. Then I saw something with Dr. Lori on Thrive Cafe. And then we even have a contribution that I'm so happy that Dr. Marilyn Scott has in the book as well. But doing further research, I came up with a new breathing technique that I really loved. And today, I know that Dr. Bob, you're going to share one that I learned from you originally. I would love for everyone to have that. And then this way, you guys, that's going to help your lungs. And if you can diffuse things, some people with asthma can do essential oils. Different people, have to have certain things. You got to consult with your physician, please. This is a general advice for people who are healthy already and can do things different than others. So I'll let you start with that.
Sure. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start with explaining about deep breathing so people can have an idea. People may have heard about deep breathing, but they don't. When I ask people to breathe deeply, they're actually doing what's called shallow breathing. That means I see their shoulders rise when they breathe. So they're only breathing from the top part of the lungs.
What
So
I was doing too. I mean, you taught me
exactly.
that. Yes,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
how I actually. The reason, Dr. Bob, we were talking at one time, and he noticed that I was like, and then he's like, wait a minute, is that a deep breath? Because if that's a deep breath, you're not breathing right because your shoulders are high. So, and that's what got our conversation going. And further later, I really went on a deep research because I like to learn more. When someone gives me any information that I feel could help me to a better place, I like to learn more about it, because once you understand it, truly you will appreciate it, and then it becomes easier to add this as a habit to your daily life. It will be easier to do so with more pleasure and not obligation or resistance because, oh, somebody told you to do this because they think it's good only.
Yes. Yes. So let me explain a little bit about deep breathing. So deep breathing, otherwise known as uh, breathing from the diaphragm. So that means that way down there. And the way it works is that this is your lungs as you don't take a breath. So when you take a breath, so imagine you have your lungs on top here. This is your diaphragm. So when you take a breath, your diaphragm actually straightens out. So it's just like this. So it works like that. It's kind of like a muscle. What it does, it helps to pull all the air that you're breathing in down deep into your lungs, and that's what you want. You want to have your lungs filled with air, filled with oxygen, and this will stimulate your vagus nerve and also clean out a lot of toxins as well. But in terms of stimulating your vagus nerve, reduces inflammation in your body. Remember that COVID-19 attacks the lungs, creates inflammation. When you're stressed, your inflammation goes up as well. When you're eating a lot of high carbs, especially a lot of sweets, your inflammation goes. There's a lot of things. And you mentioned earlier about exercise. If you over exercise, your inflammation goes up. So you're stressing your body. So you want to do a moderate amount of exercise, not too much. Breathing is very critical. Critical. And there's
Want to
a
demonstrate that one, like specifically how?
yes. So I'm going to teach you a breathing technique. People call it box breathing. It's also known as tactical breathing because it's used by the special forces in the military. I learned this a long time ago. And when you're in a firefight in a tactical situation, this kind of breathing immediately drops your heart rate down. So you go back into that state where you can now stay focused and engage into the whether the firefight or whatever situation you're dealing in, if you're first responder, but more important for the everyday person. So you want to reduce that stress response. You want to drop it down, drop your heart rate down, your inflammation levels down by stimulating that vagus nerve that runs all the way down to your gut. And you're going to feel so much better. And so the way it works, the basic box breathing is that it's going to be 4 4s. So what you're going to do, you're going to breathe into your nose. Remember, it's deep breathing. Breathing through your nose for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 4. Exhale for a count of 4 through your mouth. Hold for a count of 4, and then repeat it as many times as necessary to get your body to that state of homeostasis. So the way it's going to work is like this. So, and then just repeat it. So you breathe in for a count of 4, count in your head, then hold, exhale, hold, and just repeat that, and you're going to start calming down. And by the way, you will notice when you're breathing properly is when your belly goes out. That's deep breathing. So there's people that will breathe up here, shallow breathing, and you'll be able to you'll be able to see when a person shallow breathes. They also have a much more higher voice kind of thing going on. So you have upper level breathing, shallow breathing, mid level from the middle of the chest, and then your belly extends out. So you want that belly to extend out. That's when you know that you're deep breathing. And it's natural breathing. Babies do that all the time. We're taught how not to breathe properly. So you want to go back to
And I remember
that's
always,
true.
yeah,
We're, we're,
and
we're,
also
we're taught a lot of things that really mess up our body as we get older. So you want to go back to baby breathing in that sense. And and if you have a hard time, you can lay down and practice developing your diaphragm. But practice the box breathing, four four fours, and you'll be good to go. So Sophie.
yes, and the second one, there's so many different types, and but we're sharing two that we feel would help, and specifically right now, it's called lip breathing, and it's like it's like how you're giving a kiss, like that. Your lips are up like that, lip breathing, and this actually was tested because not everybody can do all the breathing exercises based on their conditions. So some people might run short on regular breath exercises. But this was actually very safe for even people with COPD. And you go and you breathe in. You can't have your shoulders up like that because then that's shallow breathing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you breathe in. So you're breathing in like, let's say, 4 seconds in and maybe 7, 8 seconds out. So you want the in shorter than the inhale is much shorter than the exhale. So you want to go as long as you can out and do it as much as you can, um, up to 2 to 5 minutes. If it depends what your body can tolerate. If you can do that in the morning, in the evening, and midday, it depends. It's a practice. You can develop it little by little, but it's actually very helpful, and to also help circulate the oxygen to your brain and the blood moving and so forth. And those are things that you need to be mindful at such times because they will relax you. And the whole idea, the more you relaxed you are, the better and more resistant you're facing any viruses, any sicknesses, any mental stress as well. So prior to this COVID-19 issue that we're all facing, literally the status in corporate America of mental illness was at 72%. That's a high number. To have a coronavirus syndrome, I mean, it's not, there is nothing called that. I just made it up, but I've had people calling me very, very nervous about this. Very nervous, very concerned, losing sleep, so concerned of what's going to happen about their jobs because a lot of people are dependent on tourism, especially in Orlando. We are the heart of tourism. Orlando Disney World is the number one tourist state in all of United States. The income of it generates the whole much of the income of the United States for tourism. Today, I saw Robin J., which is a producer of the movies Becoming the Keys and more, that Vegas is closing casinos, cruise lines are closed. There's so many things happening that we're aware of. and the tourism industry is really getting affected tremendously. But we don't want this virus to be a mind virus. Okay, you don't want this to be aware where you get programmed. Oh, I can't go on a cruise now for another 10 years because you're thinking because one thing happened now, and now you're so isolated mentally, and yeah, you're terrified, and you're telling yourself a story that is not correct. Something happened, people are aware of it, they're taking action. It's going to take its course of action. There's going to be a lot of damage, losses, and many things that are affected because of it. Yes, that's a fact. You got to think of solutions, preparation, and you got to breathe through it. So
Yep.
during this whole process, go.
There you go. There you go.
And I'm saying laugh it off in the end, and I
Laugh
want
it
you.
off at the end. Because laughter is a great inflammation reducer. It helps you to breathe. It stimulates your lungs. And guess what? When that happens, that COVID-19 doesn't like people who laugh. It
Yes,
doesn't.
it's allergic to happy people. It
Yes.
doesn't know how to attack their immune system, their mindset, their finances, because it repels them.
Yes. Yes.
So get
Exactly.
all your internal soldiers ready, equipped, and going. You know, you're not just the skin over your body. You have a great alliance in there. You have your organs, you have your heart, your mind, your hands, everything, your diaphragm, your spine. All of these are alliances to you. They're all working together. So be a good leader on a soul level. Your soul is the boss, and connect with your higher self, connect with whatever faith you believe in, and allow the Holy Spirit to guide you and your highest consciousness to participate in this mission along with you, being strong, grounded, and confident, and be able to shift yourself from being so scared and worried to how can I serve.
That's right.
Once you
That's right.
ask that question, you are going to feel so empowered, so motivated, so inspired, because now, once we think of the we become better servants to us, to our own body and colonies that are in our bodies, to our community, to our families, to our country, to our nation, to the globe, to the whole universe. So let's be this kind of citizen. Okay, let's be proactive, effective, united, collaborative. And if there is things that are helping, do post. Don't post things that are terrifying and act out of fear and desperation. It is good to see what's going on because that's real life. And thank you, people, for posting stuff that probably we would never hear about otherwise. I connected with this girl in China that I was so happy to connect with because she posts like daily things, like on their first day back to work. So what we're facing now, as Edward mentioned in our live show, here in the States, they faced a month ago. They passed that already a month ago because they were in it before us. And this girl in China was posting with her girlfriend in the elevator their first day back to regular work, and they were laughing and doing selfies again and all that. And that's the kind of spirit we normally are when we're happy. People do take pictures and when they're in better moods, or if they're doing documentaries or trying to help others. But let's try to do those kind of things and not take videos that are only showing what's bad. If you want to show something which is a fact, we're not saying hide the truth, but please put a solution or a suggestion with it. How about that? So if
Yep.
there is something that's concerning to you that maybe you're worried about, put your opinion, but also a suggestion, a thought. Maybe ask someone that you think is more of an expert in their field. Listen, we gave you general information today. We are not a doctor or medical expert by any means, so don't try to take our words for all the directions. We're giving you an expansion of consciousness so you can be more aware of maybe better grounded solutions that you can choose based upon your abilities, your beliefs, and what you think is best for yourself. And we are here for you as admins on Wisdom Cafe. If there is anything that you need to reach out, or if there's something that could help more people, please feel free to reach out, share, and all that. We're here to help everyone as much as we can to have a voice and to be able to share something that is productive, coming out of love and helpful solutions, not fear, anger, or stress, because that's not going to help anybody. And we
Yep.
don't want to entertain that. We're not going to, we don't want to entertain it. We want solutions. So if you are stressed and scared, we want to know how we can help you calm down.
Yep.
All right. But we're not going to help you get more stress and stress everybody up, because that is not going to be a good operation. Where we want you to be more at ease and at calm and connect with more of those people who can generate such feelings and share and project such feelings as well with you.
Yes, and we do plan on introducing both events, online events, and in the upcoming uh, weeks. So stay tuned on
Mhm.
Wisdom Cafe. So we're going to end up having the event here online, or a sign up page where you guys can sign up for it, either in a private group or otherwise. So that way, we're going to expand everything what we're doing.
The
And
reach and
yes,
the reach out and the collaboration and our
yes,
availability to be working with you in every way that could be of help and support to the better of all as well. If you have any suggestions that you feel, please feel free to suggest, reach out to either myself or Dr. Bob. We are here for you in every way we can. Together, we create, we celebrate, we
yes,
learn, we laugh, we grow, thrive, and glow.
yes,
So
absolutely.
be mindful and remember that is our intention for all of us.
That's right. That's right. So I'm going to,
Thank you, Dr. Bob. Thank you. And can you can is that crystal ball close to you, or
yes,
can
right,
you hold it? Can you show it? Because I really love that color. It's really beautiful. It's
right
like a
here.
greenish color, isn't it?
Yes. Yep.
I can't see it. Okay, so it's like pastel. Yeah, okay,
Hmm.
pastel green. Got it.
Yep.
Uh, and I tried playing crystal balls before, and I totally messed them up. So I'm like, okay, Bob, please, this is gonna be your area. But
Yeah. It's pretty easy. There's different kind of what's called wands. I actually have this one spin around, and because I was used to when I was a kid rubbing my finger around a uh, a crystal glass and just creating that like a wine
well,
glass or
today
something.
now with the virus, you do it at home. Don't
Do
put
it at
your
home.
fingers
Yep.
anywhere
Exactly.
I'm like, okay. um, I just want to also tell you guys this candle was lit with intention for tonight, for our group, for love and light and healing, and setting positive vibes towards everyone listening to this, everyone that's needing this. And let's just do a little bit of an energy clearing together. And before we let you go, thank you for your time and your participation. Thank you for being part of our journey. Thank you for all the beautiful posts that you guys are sharing with us and lifting others with. Thank you for just being all united together and supportive to one another. And let's continue this attitude and grow from there, and let this too shall pass. Remember that. Be strong for your loved ones. Try to clear your energy more often. It's like a mental bath that you want to take daily. And I would suggest as much as you can in the mornings before you go to bed. Be very conscious about that. And it's really very helpful. It's going to relax you, and it's going to lower your cortisol levels. It's going to increase your endorphins. And those are very, very important this time of day. Make sure you have enough sleep time. Try to sleep in the better hours, and that's really recommended very much. I've been hearing this on many different sites lately. So, evidently, there is a reason why we have to shut our eyes and rest.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I know, like, I'm so excited about life all the time. I can't wait to get up and do things and read and create and all that stuff. But, there is time that we have to allow ourselves to receive, also, the healing that our body needs, and the cleansing of all the toxins in our body that is very important to regenerate better energy and better thinking. So you want to be at that where you're able to think. If you are getting a little bit nervous, try to get out of the situation and talk to the situation as if it's your best friend. You probably know this. I'm just reminding you of it again. So if you feel you're in that kind of panic or anxiousness, um, you know, just feel like as if you're advising a best friend of yours or a child. If you love a niece or someone you really care about, or if you have elderly parents and you don't want them to be scared, what would you tell them? Talk to yourself like that. Address yourself as that person, and see what comes out of it, and see how your mind starts shifting to a solution based, to more calmness, and just dealing with things one thing at a time, one thing at a time. And I'm praying and I'm hoping that we all help each other. If there's someone who's really in such a lower situation, someone who can, please give them a hand. If you're able to, please do your part. This is how we're going to balance as a society. Because after all, one person, I don't care if you're a billionaire, you have access to everything. Alone, you're not going to enjoy it. It's the laws of the universe. It's not going to be enjoyable. Just as now, as many there are people who have cognitive biases and prejudice, right now, those people would still want to go to a restaurant that has many people just to see people, regardless who they are, so they don't get depressed.
Yes.
So it's not a one man's island, okay? We are made, the human race, to socialize. We're made that way. This is how our species survives. Is we are made to be connected, and this isolation is not normal or natural to our existence. So understand that the more conscious you are on a holistic level, those things don't have to continue in the future for our kids or next generation. Those things don't have to continue for yourself, because it doesn't have to be people like a young teen like Greta, regardless whether you agree or don't agree with what she's up to. I think the girl has such spunk in her. For her age, she spoke so confidently, many elderlies that I've heard, and speakers anywhere that I've seen. I give her credit even if it's just for that,
Yes.
for the courage. Okay, so let's not shame our younger ones. Let us be a good example, leading our best way possible, and let's pass our torch and lead the way with it, and with good intentions. All right, and know that you might not see it one-on-one cases, but it's a ripple effect, and the longer people don't come up to that awakening, the more backwards we're going. And you might think you're enjoying your little thing, and you might feel you're not affected. It's not going to get to you because you live maybe in a palace with 20,000 feet walls and nobody's going to get to it. But At one point, that whole palace by yourself is not fun anymore, no matter how much you can tolerate. Myself, I can stay home for a week totally and not get bored at all because I have so many things that I keep doing. I entertain myself and I don't even know how the time goes by. And I'm like, oh my God, 5 hours passed. Oh my God, it's evening already because I get so involved with projects that I really love and enjoy that the time flies so fast. Many people don't have the ability to even stay 2 days in a row at home before they lose it. But my thing is, even me, I consider myself that I could be a homebody easily. It doesn't bother me. However, I know that at a certain level, that I would want to go out. And that's what we want to collectively, consciously unite and realize that this is not affecting one person, it's affecting whole. And if a person thinks they're above it, they're not. So let's be conscious, courteous, and let's all work together on this and end it
And
with a nice clearing
yes,
energy meditation for all of us.
yes.
Ready? All right, so let's take 3 deep breaths and let's make them lip breaths. Remember, as if you're giving a kiss, like that. And you want to inhale longer than your exhale longer than your inhale. So on the count of 3, we're gonna do 3 deep breaths. One for your body, one for your mind, and one for your soul. Relax your mind and your body. Clear your thoughts and free your spirit. And I want you to visualize a beautiful green healing light entering from the crown of your head, relaxing your scalp. Feel your facial muscles all getting more and more relaxed. As you continue breathing, feel the expansion of this cosmic healing green light going all the way down to your neck and shoulders, clearing any tension, any heavy energy you might be holding at this time. Let it all go. Feel this beautiful, magical emerald green light expanding, relaxing your throat area, releasing any tension from any verbal communications, any stress you're holding, any words you might be holding in your whole body that needs to be released. Allow this clearing, beautiful, cosmic, angelic healing light expand and clear any heaviness at this time. Relax your arms, your shoulders. Feel your hands getting more and more relaxed. They're getting lighter and lighter. You're feeling more at ease. All is well and will be. Relax your chest muscles. Release any tension you might be holding in your heart area. Any feelings of anxiety, shame, guilt, blame, anger. Allow this beautiful cosmic emerald green light to expand and expand and expand, clearing your heart chakra totally from any heaviness you're holding at this time. Give yourself permission to relax and let go. Feel your upper, middle, and lower back getting more relaxed. And let's do a spinal flush. And I want you to visualize your spine very healthy, illuminated with this beautiful light, infused with healing properties from the Holy Spirit, cleansing and clearing all your nerves. And I want you to see and feel this cosmic healing light going downward into your spine, clearing any tension, any blockages in this area, all the way back up and down in circular motion. I want you to do that 3 times and let it expand as much as you're able to visualize and feel and imagine. Allow your back to relax. Let all the heaviness just go. Feel your immune system getting stronger and stronger. And see your body being well and at ease. And as you continue to relax, I want you to visualize and imagine this beautiful green emerald light expanding into your stomach, solar plex area, releasing any tension you're holding totally. All the way down, right under your belly button area, your sacral chakra, and your root chakra, all the way down to the bottom of your spine. And I want you to see this expansion of emerald light, healing any tension, any feelings of insecurities and worries, any fear energy, any feelings of low self-esteem, lack of confidence. Let them go. You really had enough and you're ready to step into your power, your good health, your strong immunity, your healthy vision of yourself. Amen. Continue breathing deeper. Take another deep breath in and let out a sigh. Feel your hip muscles getting more and more relaxed, more loose. Your thighs are getting more and more relaxed and lighter. Your knees are getting more relaxed. And feel this emerald healing light expanding and expanding all the way to your knees, taking all the heaviness of the day out. Feel your calves getting lighter and more relaxed, your ankles, you're almost feeling this vibration and expansion of this emerald healing light taking over all your body and expanding wider and wider. Feel your feet getting lighter and more relaxed. Feel your toes so relaxed and lighter. Feel free. All is well and will be. And imagine yourself being in a bubble of light. And this beautiful emerald green light is totally surrounding you. And you're floating and floating up and up and up into the heavens, feeling lighter and even more light. In that space, you are meeting with divine energy and consciousness. And you're surrendering to divine will. And you're allowing your vortex open to the heavens, to your creator and maker. And you are feeling an upgrade in your immune system, in your confidence, in your vision, an empowerment into your footsteps that you'll be taking into life, your leadership. You are protected, you are guided, all is well and will be. Allow yourself to connect with that vortex of energy. Feel the Holy Spirit totally enveloping your soul, clearing and cleansing every part of your body, your organs, that it is going to be so strong and immune, so high. Nothing shall prosper against you. No weapon shall prosper against you. Amen. You feel the power within you. You are going to be infused with that energy. You are going to expand from that energy. And take your time and float more into it. And I want you to imagine seeing the word peace, wellness, health, and be a servant of light, a servant of righteousness and right, a servant of consciousness. Do well for yourself and others. Allow yourself to be an instrument of blessings wherever you go, see, touch, or enter. Claim that and hold your sword of light and use that whenever you feel you need it. Remind yourself you are protected and you are in control, and what is out of your control, you are going to surrender with your best intention, knowing you are safe, and in the end, all will be well. And if it's not the end yet. If you feel any messages or you see any things that you need to use or tools, messages, please allow yourself to be open. On a count of three, you're going to start coming back. I want you to visualize yourself healthy, happy, and well. And I want you to visualize that to your family, to your state, to your country, to the world. Send that beautiful energy out and expand it. On the count of three, we're going to come back to the here and now, feeling well and at peace. 1, 2, 3. Eyes wide awake. And we are back.
Yes.
Namaste.
Mhm.
All right. How are you feeling? Let us know. Give us your feedback. And we hope that you're able to relax a little bit more. Incorporate anything that's going to lift you up more into your day, into times where you need to be more prepared, including higher tension moments that might arise through your day. Remember your box breathing, remember your lip breathing, and try to watch more comedies and get on the Laughter Mindset group. We're going to try to add more jokes for you and at this time, just so that you can shift state more. And we are going to do more things online. And on my end, I'm so excited about my upcoming book for you. Actually, it has a lot of amazing, great things and tools that I feel will be very helpful, especially in your downtime that a lot of people might, not be able to go to work, but not to go on vacation. They're actually going to
Mhm.
stay home. So, pick a good book and read, or watch a good movie, or watch comedy,
Yes.
or connect with loved ones, do some FaceTimes, have a party. don't don't feel alone. Whatever it is, don't feel alone. Okay.
And we wish you guys the very, very best. Keep yourselves as healthy as possible. And
And be careful, and be careful at the
yeah,
same time.
yeah.
Do your part. Do your part. Be conscious. Be courteous, and don't take things lightly, but don't overreact either. So try to weigh things out. Do your part, and preparation is better than cure. But incorporate all the healthy stuff that's going to help you to be at a better balance.
And we want to thank you for having tuned in tonight. I know it's late and everything, and you guys, they're on the East Coast, head off to bed as we talked about, get a good night's sleep. And uh, I don't know, I don't know what time it is here on West Coast. I'll have to check it out. But you guys actually just in
It's 7:40 your time.
it is. It's yeah. Okay. So
7:40 here.
yep. Okay. You guys again, thank you for tuning in. Bob
I think
Choat
you
and
got so
Sofie Nubani.
relaxed.
Yes. Yes. I'm ready to head off to bed now too. I was gonna eat dinner, but I'm gonna skip it and just head off to bed. Uh,
Well, very good. We had a little laugh in the end. You made me laugh. Thank
oh boy. Yeah, oh boy.
Blessings, and have a
Blessings.
great night,
Namaste.
everybody.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.